Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Two Cents, and welcome back to my Twilight Zone episode by episode review series. So, of course, I'm watching from my Blu ray collection here of all 156 episodes from the original series. Today, we're going to take a look at episode 2 from season 1, which is One for the Angels. This aired on October 9th, 1959, and it was once again written and directed by Rod Serling. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it here. What happened? I lost my notes. So basically, the premise of this one is about a sidewalk pitchman, which is kind of like a salesman, I guess, back in the 50s and 60s. It's a pitchman. But a deal with death may cost a young girl her life. So basically, this story is about a man named Lou Bookman, played by Ed Wynn. And he's a pitchman, so he's got like his little suitcase that expands and to all these little gadgets and gizmos and gadgets that he sells on the street, little toys and things like that. And one day he goes home and there's a man in his apartment, and we come to know this man as Mr. Death, played by Murray Hamilton. And basically, I don't want to give too much away again, like I don't with any of these episodes, but it's basically Ed Bookman's time to go, if you will. So him and Mr. Death basically have a back and forth for a while about who he is, where he's been, different ways he can get out of it and stuff, and it just kind of goes from there. And he's also friends with the kids on this street, particularly this little girl who's 8 years old, I think, and she ends up playing into the plot of the episode. But anyway, with that being said, I really like this episode. It's definitely a lighter-hearted Twilight Zone episode than what we got in the first episode and subsequent episodes. It's got more of a lighter tone to it, even though you're dealing with death and things like that. But I think the best part about this episode is Ed Wynn and Murray Hamilton and their performance, and just their dialogue together, between each other, I think is very solid. And I just enjoy their back and forth, and I enjoy the cat and mouse game that they end up getting into, where Ed Wynn's character of Lou Bookman thinks that he outsmarts Mr. Death, only to be upstaged and outsmarted by Mr. Death himself, frankly, and by what Mr. Death does to sort of get around, Lou Bookman's outsmarting him. And so it's really a game of cat and mouse, but it's done in a very lighthearted manner. And that's not to say this episode doesn't have some depth to it, because it does. Even though it's lighthearted, it's still got some themes that are obviously relevant today. But I just think the performances by those two and the cat and mouse game that we get here in a lighthearted fashion is what makes this episode very entertaining and a very good Twilight Zone episode. It has a final conclusion that's satisfying, I think, to most of the audience. And I really enjoy this episode. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 as far as the rating goes. Or I'm sorry, a 4 out of 5. It's better than a 3 out of 5. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 because of the performances, because of the cat and mouse game, the dialogue, and just the lighthearted nature of it. I really enjoy this episode. The only thing that really doesn't work for me in this episode is when it comes to the big pitch that Lou Bookman has always dreamed of having. He ends up giving this big pitch to Mr. Death towards the end of the episode. And there's reasons for it. He's doing it to try to stall Mr. Death. And Mr. Death is into it for his own reasons, which I like that whole part of the episode. But I think Ed Wynn, because he's not a fast talker like you would expect from a salesman / pitchman, street pitchman, it's a little bit hard to get behind this ginormous pitch that they try to sell it as, that Mr. Death is sort of claiming it to be. And Ed Wynn's just not a fast talker, so I could see it working a little bit better there with a different actor. But I'm not saying they should have replaced Ed Wynn, because Ed Wynn's got the charm and just the character, what he brings to the character that really works for this episode. But that's one aspect of it that doesn't work quite as well. I don't think it doesn't quite stick the landing on this big pitch that he's wanted to make, and that basically is part of the deal that he has with Death and Mr. Death. So that's really the only part of the episode that doesn't work for me. But with that being said, I still have too much fun with it. I still enjoy it too much not to give it anything less than a 4 out of 5. So 4 out of 5 for One for the Angels, which aired on, I think I gave the date already, 1959, October 9th, 1959. For One for the Angels. So go ahead and comment down below what you guys think of this episode. I'd be curious to hear other people's thoughts. Please like this video, hit the little notification bell, and subscribe to my channel, Brian's 2 cents, so that you don't miss any of the upcoming reviews for this series or any of my other content that I put out on my channel. So with that being said, thank you for watching this episode review for the Twilight Zone, and stay tuned. Bye.